Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So right now in North America, things are pretty crazy in the offseason. There is a ton of moves going on right now. In the LCS, there's not as many moves. Most of the LCS rosters seem to be getting mostly finalized, but some of the mid to lower tier teams still are moving around a little bit. But we've seen a lot of the LCS moves, I think, complete already, but there's still going to be probably a few more. There's still some teams that aren't done. Then we have Academy and Amateur making all different kinds of moves. Some of them are more interesting than others, but with Academy moves and with Amateur moves, they're not really anything that's ever going to make a whole video about. There's not too many Academy or Amateur players that are really going to, pop off on YouTube or be a super entertaining or fun video or a good clickbait or anything like that. So in this video today, I want to go over just a ton of moves, and people ask me to do stuff like this all the time. They're like, oh, cover more than one topic in your videos, cover like 3, 4, 5 topics. So we'll be doing that today. We'll be talking about a bunch of different moves, catching guys up to speed on everything that's going on in the LCS, but still having a main big topic to focus on, and that is going to be 100 Thieves, because they are doing some of the most interesting stuff in the LCS right now, especially for one of the top teams. Again, this is a team that just finished second in the LCS finals, or in the LCS spring split, and they're doing some significant stuff, and I really think they're, at this point, one of maybe the best run organization in the LCS. So what they're doing is always something to take note of. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. Kind of a different video, kind of a different format, but it should still be fun. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. With that being said, let's get right into this. And what I wanted to do was mostly go over LCS Eevee's Twitter account. This guy's 1,500 followers. He's really been popping off, more so in 2022. I don't know when he made this account. It says he joined in September of 2020, but at least to me, it seems like a lot of his growth has been very recently, and he has been really on top of everything. He's posted some rumors that haven't worked out, or things that have maybe been wrong or incorrect, or just rumors that didn't come to fruition. I don't ever fault anyone for that, but he's also done a great job of just reposting moves that are made official and trying to keep everyone up to date, and I appreciate it a ton. He's honestly one of my favorite follows on Twitter right now, and I definitely think you guys should check him out. So one of the big stories we had coming out was the fact that Lost is now the starting LCS AD carry for Immortals. I think this is a pretty interesting deal. I know we talked about this in a previous video already. I do think Lost has a very, very strong probability of being an upgrade over both Arrow and Wild Turtle. Again, I think Lost doesn't have that high of a ceiling. You know what you're getting with him to an extent. He's going to be okay, probably a below average LCS AD carry, but he probably won't be the worst LCS AD carry or bottom 2 like Arrow and Wild Turtle were. So maybe this is a marginal upgrade for Immortals in the bot lane. Either way, I don't think it's anything to be too excited about, but it is a move. We also had Acadian is going to be the starting Golden Guardians Academy jungler. Kind of an interesting move. Again, this is a guy who has played in an LCS finals before. This is a guy who has a ton of LCS experience. He was doing some coaching. Now he's getting back into professional play. We'll have to see how he does. Maybe if Pride Stalker struggles, maybe we could see Acadian back in the LCS soon, or maybe he'll just be a really good and valuable veteran to have on an Academy team, because yes, Academy should be used for young talent, developing them and trying to get up to the LCS and all that, but at the same time, if you just have 5 players who are young and inexperienced and have no idea what they're doing, that's not always super beneficial. That's not always super productive. If you can throw in a good, strong veteran leader and mind and brain, sometimes that can help the development of some of your more promising and young talent. So I don't think an Academy team necessarily has to be 5 18-year-olds or something like that. I think you can throw in some veterans, especially veterans that you think are really strong, good role models for the team. So this could be an interesting move, but I can also see how people could critique it as well. We had this. This is some 100 Thieves news. Not exactly what we're talking about. We'll get to bigger 100 Thieves stuff later, but the fact that 100 Thieves has decided to part ways with their Academy AD carry Wixie, which is kind of interesting. They say, as we continue to retool our League of Legends Academy roster for summer, we've made the difficult decision to part ways with Wixie. I don't know why I said whiskey, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard if he has a new landing spot or anything like that. It just seems like maybe they decided to move on from him because they have bigger and better options, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Concept going to Golden Guardians Academy to be their new top laner. We have the Golden Guardians Academy roster. Kind of interesting when you put it all together. Concept, Acadian, Leader, Array, and Chime. To me, this seems like it will be a very, very strong Academy roster, perhaps even the best Academy roster in North America. We also have the fact that Dignitas has parted ways with their Academy mid laner and top laner. Obviously, Dark Wings and Eclipse. If they have new guys coming in, the old guys have to go. We're kind of doing this in reverse chronological order. Concept leaving Immortals Academy, obviously, as well. This was was kind of interesting. I didn't know if I wanted to make this its own video, but I guess I'm not going to. The fact that Gamsu is joining Dignitas to be their LCS starting top laner. That is a pretty spicy one. That is a pretty interesting one. Again, it's been 7 years, but he is back. We have the fact that Insanity is going to be joining Dignitas Academy. He was on 100 Thieves Next previously. I think that Insanity was not even that bad in the LCS. I think he for sure at least deserves to be on an academy team. I think it was just really disappointing to see that he was on an amateur team. Yes, 100 Thieves Next is a very, very good amateur team, and they're even better than some academy teams. But this is a guy who should be on an academy roster. He should be getting that salary, that kind of support, all that stuff. And yeah, it's cool to see that he's back. I think this is actually a really, really good pickup for Dignitas Academy. And this is a guy who he could be better than Blue. This could be a guy that maybe ends up starting for Dignitas at some point in the next couple of splits. We also have Korean top laner Hoon is going to be joining Dignitas Academy. Kind of an interesting move there. Again, here's the Gamsu news. CLG Academy, potential roster here looking like Jenkins, Kevy, Triple, Meech, and Breezy. Don't really have a ton to say about any of those players. I think Jenkins going back down to Academy is not super surprising. Probably where he should be. We obviously have the Golden Guardian starting roster, Licorice, Pride Soccer, Blaze Olive, Stixxay, and Ole that we already kind of talked about. And then I wanted to get into some of the 100 Thieves stuff. We have the 100 Thieves Next starting lineup, which I have announced. Again, yes, this is an amateur team, but this is probably the best amateur team, one of the best amateur teams. They always do an awesome job bringing in really, really talented and really, really exciting players. General Sniper in the top lane, probably the biggest and best North American prospect in amateur and academy right now. I think people kind of see him on the level of like a JoJo Pune, maybe a little bit below that. I don't know. This is obviously Viper's little brother. People are really, really excited about this guy. I think he has a chance to be an absolute beast at some point in the future. I think 100 Thieves is very, very lucky to have him. We have Fnatic in the jungle, Dark Wings, obviously from Dignitas Academy, I believe it was, moving over to 100 Thieves Next. We have Lens as AD carry, and then Sword. This is the former TSM Academy mid laner getting role swapped to support. He's been playing with 100 Thieves now. So yeah, overall, this is a very, very exciting, amateur team. Again, some really, really fun and exciting prospects. Sniper, Darkwing, Sword, some really, really cool guys. Fnatic and Lens seem to be pretty solid as well. But here is kind of the biggest news that is going on. This is not official yet. This has not been tweeted out by 100 Thieves. Again, they tweeted out that amateur roster. We're still waiting on what their academy team is going to be. But this is what EV does believe. He says sources, 100 Thieves Academy roster for the upcoming split is going to be Tenacity, Will from 100 Thieves Next, who is a really, really hyped up jungle prospect at this point. People are very excited for Will. He has a chance to be very, very good. He has a chance to be like a really good LCS jungler in the next coming splits, next coming years. Jimian in the mid lane, BMFX, who played for the University of Pittsburgh apparently last year. I hadn't heard of this guy, but I think that's really, really cool. If they're calling up players from collegiate into academy rosters, that's awesome. We have Busio, obviously returning. EV says from 100 Thieves Next here, but Busio was their academy support. He's one of the better supports and one of the bigger prospects in all of academy. The big stuff here is two things. One, the 6-man roster, Tenacity in the LCS, that experiment seems to be over, which is really disappointing. Just an absolute disaster. Again, I said 100 Thieves is probably the best run organization in the LCS right now, but this was just really, really poorly handled. You call this guy up, say he's part of your 6-man roster, say he's going to be getting stage time, all this stuff, and he plays one single game all of Spring Split while also not playing Academy. That's a disaster. And then, yes, now you're calling him back down, which I think is good. He's going to get to play Academy. He's going to get more experience. He's actually going to be playing competitive games, which is absolutely what you need if you're a developing prospect. But it also sucks that he's not getting an LCS chance. It sucks that he's not getting an LCS spot because there's definitely teams that could use him. And yeah, it just sucks that he was one of the best players in Academy previously, and the fact that other people are getting called up to the LCS and he's not finding a spot. I'm sure he's having offers, but I'm sure 100 Thieves just has a very, very big buyout. But it sucks he only got to play one game. I wish 100 Thieves would have used him more. I think it makes no sense that they didn't use him more. Yes, someday was very, very good, but still, the Spring Split regular season absolutely doesn't matter, and they could have got this guy some more games or got him some more games in lock-in or whatever. Again, I'm very, very disappointed with how 100 Thieves handled this, and I think it's good that he's back in Academy, but it also sucks that he's back in Academy, whatever. And then the big news as well in the jungle, the fact that the roster that Eevee is reporting doesn't have Kenvi in it. What does that mean? Does that mean 100 Thieves Academy wouldn't get rid of Kenvi? They wouldn't just drop him. They wouldn't let him go to some other Academy team. This means he's either potentially going to be getting called up to 100 Thieves, maybe as a part of a 6-man roster there. Maybe they're going to be trying it again. I think that's very unlikely, especially after they just tried a 6-man roster and they weren't able to really do anything. But we also know that, we had heard from Wooloo that potentially some things were not so good behind the scenes with 100 Thieves. Potentially they were having some issues. Maybe they want to give Kenvy a shot. Maybe they want him to play some games. Yes, closer has been very, very good for them, but if there's some arguments, some disagreements, some butting of heads behind the scenes, who knows? I think it's possible. But then also, I think what is more likely is that Kenvy could potentially be getting a shot at a starting spot in the LCS. Some people have been saying maybe Immortals would make sense. Some people have been saying maybe CLG makes sense. Now, obviously, I feel bad for him. It's either of those teams. Those are like 2 of the bottom 3 teams in the LCS. And again, worse teams make players look worse, make players perform worse. They have worse coaches, worse analysts, worse kind of everything. And I think overall it's a much worse environment to try to develop and make a name for yourself and perform. But it would also be cool to see him in the LCS because at the end of the day, I do want to see the best players competing in the LCS. I want to see our best prospects actually getting time. I think that's going to make the whole region better, all the teams better, and there's no reason if we have talented players that they should be playing in Academy. I think that about Tenacity. I think that about Kenvy as well. I think it'd be really, really cool if he was part of a 6-man roster for 100 Thieves for the summer, or if he even just got to start for some weeks altogether. Or, I don't know what's happening with the roster close or anything like that, but this is at least what Eevee is reporting. So it's going to be very, very interesting to follow because, again, Kenvy is another one of those top-level prospects in Academy right now. He has been for the past couple of splits. He's been a guy who people think, has that, like, star potential, has all LCS level potential, at least. And that's the thing about potential. Sometimes potential comes to fruition. Sometimes it doesn't. But you have to have that potential at least to potentially, make the most of it. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Somebody drop a like if you did enjoy it. I know we talked about all kinds of different stuff, but hopefully, you guys appreciate it. And hopefully you guys maybe learned something new or got some new news out to you that you had maybe missed or hadn't heard about or something like that. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about any of these stories. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.